welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of November 10th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me today on this fine Sunday night...
Yeah, it's Benjamin Daniel Lawless. What's up, y'all?
Hi, here. Stephen. Hi.
We're here.
Unfortunately, Devin was dragged off to the gulag for things that he said last episode, so we don't know when he's going to be, when we're going to hear from him again.
But, you know, and it's a good thing that neither of us have ever said anything that's problematic on this show.
No, never.
Right?
And we never have, and we never will.
100%.
What's great about living now is that you can just say stuff and it's true and nobody cares. Right? Like that's just how things are now, and we're gonna run with it.
And it's a podcast about science and science fiction. You get to pick.
Yes, it is. We get to pick what's true and what's not. That's the world we live in. Yeah, so
there's been a lot that's happened this last week, Stephen.
There has. Look, everyone, we're disappointed, right? A large portion of this country is very disappointed. If you're not listening from the United States, you know what happened. If you're listening from within the United States, you also know what happened. But here's the thing, and I just want to just touch on it a little bit, and we can move on because I'm sick of it.
All right.
I don't care who the president is at this point. I'm going to continue my life as I did before. I'm going to do my best for my family and friends, help those who I can help, and ignore those who would go against that. And that's how I'm going to live my life.
Yeah. It's an interesting time we're in. I had so like last weekend I came across before the election I came across an interesting like blog post, and it was like, hey, Americans, how are you guys doing? You know, like checking in, what's the vibe? And someone on there wrote an interesting comment in it. They said, I'm pretending as if I've already lost.
Oh.
I thought that was an interesting thing, and it was something I kind of adopted, because at that point it's like, well, okay, then how are you going to conduct your life? Like, what is your life outside of the anxiety about the election? You know, and I found that really freeing. It didn't stop me from being tremendously surprised and disappointed on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
But
it hurts. It's painful. I feel traumatized to my deepest core. But
the show must go on.
The show, Stephen. There is no stopping.
Yeah.
The signal. No, wait, hold on. There's no.
But like what it is right now that I'm kind of looking at is, okay, well, how about I adjust my attention to more closely match my sphere of control.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so like taking some of this nervous energy that I've had and turning it into like designing some stuff for the like posters for the school, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Or like a bunch of different other little things. And it's been really nice. Or even just, I've had a little bit of comfort from watching old newscasts on YouTube of newscasts from like 1981, 1982 in New York.
I'm sorry, what?
Like full newscasts from New York City in 1981 era ish.
Why 1981?
Well, I kind of wanted something. I tried to find something from the year that I was born, and wasn't quite landing on it. But like, yeah, and so just there's this amazing New York news station that has some videos, and like watching how they talk about what's going on in the day without the Hollywood sheen without trying to be entertaining or
That the clickbait
concerning. Yeah. Right. Like just no nonsense. We don't care if you're bored. This is what happened.
Oh, you mean the news?
Yeah.
I remember the news.
Remember the news? Yeah. I mean, and I'm not talking about Huey Lewis in the news because they're too damn loud. But
if you get that reference, Ben owes you $5.
So, yeah, man. Like, but some of the things that really helped me there are like watching something and reminding myself that news doesn't need to be sensationalized.
Yeah.
And then also watching a place that is not here, that's not the world at large, but like a particular city that has particular problems, like a rat problem or a, or a blimp that caught on fire, right? Or like, yeah, I mean, there's some serious stuff. Everybody made it out okay. They lived.
I'm glad for those people over 40 years ago that lived.
Destruction of some property, but yeah.
I'm sure that property is fine now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows?
It's probably a Starbucks. Like
we should check in on it.
We should.
Oh man. So it's yeah. Well, and then also hearing like the politics of the day, and the presidential elections that was happening, around that era. Like, yeah, it was interesting.
Really interesting. We all have to, or not have to, but we can all distract ourselves in a myriad of ways. I got to distract myself by babysitting.
Oh, good. You love babysitting, Stephen.
Oh, so good. What was really kind of interesting on Wednesday, I get a call from my brother-in-law, which I never do. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "What's up?" Like,
that's not a great way to start.
Yeah. Like, okay, like immediately my mind's going, it's not an emergency, because he would say that it's an emergency. So this has to be some kind of ask or something. So let's see what it is. Essentially what happened, and I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of it here, but he had a work thing and his wife was out of town for work. My sister-in-law was out of town for work, and they needed childcare. Like in a not in an emergency way, but in a, oh man, the world has conspired against us and we need help kind of way. And for those that don't know, we live about an hour away from them. And so there was a lot of phone calls and back and forth and like figuring out logistics. And in the end, what ended up happening is my 3-year-old nephew was dropped off at our house at about 8:00 on Wednesday night.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Knowing that we would be babysitting him until sometime on Friday.
Geez. So okay. So this is happening, and it's about 8 p.m. on a school night when you're trying. You this would be the time like where, hey, we're putting the kids to bed. Like,
oh yes.
Like we're.
Is the day is done. Everyone is maybe reading quietly, or their hand is being held for a few minutes before the night lights get turned on.
Yeah, it's the tender moments where nothing's really changing, and you can just kind of understand that like you're safe there. And and then here comes the 3-year-old into the mix.
Here comes chaos. He's an awesome kid. What ended up happening was pure magic, because we didn't know like how well he was going to do. Like, has he had a chance to be away from his parents before? Has he stayed in a bed that wasn't his own? Like, there were a lot of kind of basic questions.
Yeah. Okay. So they've never, have they ever stayed over at your place?
No, they haven't.
Oh.
But he had stayed at other places with his mother before, like at other family. So he knew. Well, he's a smart kid. It's funny. He's pretty quiet. He's a little shy until he opens up. So it's really
he's
hard.
A real Devin.
He's a real Devin. Watch out, Mark. That's who your kid's gonna be. No, so he's a little sweetheart. And so what ended up happening, like that night was a little rough because of all the commotion, but like the next morning, man, like 6:30, Emily, Haley, wake up! Like he just shouts.
Oh, wow.
And they're both
he's
like,
a lark.
yeah, he was like, and both the girls were like, we're up. And before you know it, they're downstairs playing, and it's before 7 o'clock. And Martina and I look at each other like, here we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on a school day, when do the kids usually wake up?
They typically get up at about 7.
Okay.
And we're out the door by 7:50. We have to leave by 7:50, otherwise Haley may not get to school on time.
Yeah.
Because I have to drive back and forth through town through traffic, 8 o'clock traffic.
Yeah.
Which is not easy. So anyways, long story short and all that, you know, we got the kids off to school appropriately. I spent the day with him. He went on my chores. You know, we had to go to a couple of stores. You know, we played lots of Hot Wheels and Magnetiles, some TV shows and snacks, back in the car, back and forth to pick up the kids after, you know, and then once the kids were home, and it would all heck broke loose in the best way. They just played and played and played the rest of the night, which was wonderful. You know, we had our dinner and everyone ate, everyone was happy, and then come around bedtime at about 7:30, boom, he conked out. Then my youngest went to bed, boom, she was done by 8. My oldest, 8:30, boom, she's in bed reading. It was the most pleasant bedtime ever. It was like dominoes falling gently over in the 1/7 gravity of the moon, just settling in the most wonderful way. And anyway, and then, you know, the next morning it was a bit of a repeat, and then my brother-in-law came and picked him up at about 10 o'clock, and that was that. So yeah.
So just one night?
The 2 nights, Wednesday night,
right? Yeah.
And Thursday night, yeah. But it was a great experience. Like going into it, we were like, we don't know what's going to happen, you know, because you never know. A 3-year-old away from his parents, at a house that he's only been to our house 2 or 3 times, maybe in total. But my kids just love him, and he loves them. It's like they're the only cousins right now, like the closest cousins. It's just those 3. So to see their connection it's just fantastic.
That's awesome.
And so that helped get my mind off things and helped to recenter myself onto what's important. You know, close family, close friends, helping those near you and next to you, and that's what's going to get you through
making a difference.
Rough times. Yeah. So yeah, that's my 5 minutes of real life this episode.
Only 5 minutes.
I was going to talk about Shatterpoint, but I actually talked about that pre-show. So if you're a patron, you already heard it. And if you're interested, become a patron. You'll hear ads later.
There you go.
What have you been up to, sir, before we get into our hardcore science and science fiction discussions?
Yo, Steven, have you seen or heard of Wandla?
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
You mentioned it to me before and I've forgotten it.
No, it's an Apple TV Plus show that I found like yesterday, and then I binged the first like 4 episodes this afternoon and would have finished the entire season, but I was okay. So this will sound like some other things that you kind of like, Stephen. This is forced to flee her underground sanctuary for Earth's surface.
Yes.
Eva discovers a world unlike anything she expected as she journeys across perilous terrain and unknown civilizations. Eva asks whether she is the last human.
Sign me up.
Yeah. So it's based on a young adult trilogy of novels.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's PG for some violence. It does, especially the first episode. There's some, like, it's very suspenseful near the end of the first episode, you
Okay.
know. So I'd say like not like 5 or 6, but maybe 8, 9, 10
Okay.
are okay, you know.
Gotcha.
But what follows is a tremendously yeah, I mean, like you see this little girl born into this underground area called the sanctuary, and she's you know, she grows up, and she's under the care of Mother, you know, an AI computer system, with like a kind of a green doll that it takes the form of, and yeah, grows up.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on. I got to
yeah,
interrupt quickly.
for sure.
I don't think you've mentioned yet that this is an animated show.
This is an animated show. It's
And
like it's a DreamWorks show.
I'm watching the trailer right now. The animation is gorgeous.
Yes,
This looks great.
it's pretty incredible. And it grabs you. Basically, so yeah, right. Her first 16 years, she's learning about the world, you know, through a bunch of holograms and everything. Alan Tudyk is in it. Terry Hatcher is in it.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, so she's training to join other humans that are on the surface that are in other sanctuaries.
Okay.
And so like on her 16th birthday, she's going to have a test of all the skills that she's learned over the previous 10 years. And she doesn't get the chance to through you know, something that happens. She's sent out into the world and looks out and wonders, what has become of Earth?
Mhm.
Is this even? She looks up into the night sky and sees a ring. And so she's walking
They
across
blew up the moon.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Spoiler. This is the Earth. Yes.
Okay. Well, by
And-
watching the trailer, you see some ruins that definitely point to it being, if not Earth, at least a human civilization of sorts.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it looks like the ruins of Earth.
And it's you know, she's being hunted as a curiosity. And
Well, there's a bunch of like aliens and stuff. It looks like, or
Yes,
something.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's okay. All right.
yeah,
I'm gonna show this to my kids and see what
I-
happens.
I mean, Flint was like, yes, let's watch the next one. Let's go. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very much like it has a really neat series of hooks. And like, I think, you know, every episode does the modern TV thing of like, oh, it ends on just the perfect cliffhanger, you know,
Right, you
that
just
makes you
wanna
want to
watch-
binge the next one.
Just one more. Yeah.
Yep. And so we got through the first 4 of them with dinner. So yeah,
Nice.
I very much liked it. Haven't finished the season yet, but probably gonna tomorrow.
How many episodes we have here?
7 episodes
7.
per season.
Okay. And are they like half hour long roughly?
Yeah, 24 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Neat.
You know. Yeah. So real easy to watch. But again, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how Haley does with suspense, but you know.
I mean, this would be the kind of show that I sit down with them and monitor reactions.
Yes,
yeah.
but you're gonna enjoy it. Like,
Oh, it looks like I already have.
Yeah.
I mean, the beginning bit where it's like a single female underground being raised by a robot. Haven't we seen that before? Wasn't
oh
that
yeah,
that was it a Netflix movie? Or we've covered it here on the podcast.
Mm.
The one that people are listening to right now.
There have been a
Was
lot.
it just called Mother?
This feels a lot like a very serious Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts. You know, like it doesn't have the zany charm of that, but like what it doesn't have there, it makes up for in mystery and suspense and really solid world building. And you know, like it's a show. I mean, and if you liked like yeah, I don't know. It feels as well constructed as Troll Hunters.
Okay.
If that means anything to anybody but me, then
There's
you know what I mean.
5 or 6 people out there that the show I was thinking of for the movie is I Am Mother, the 2019 drama mystery. But I think was it just on Netflix? I don't know if it was just a Netflix release or what.
Okay.
In the wake of humanity's extinction, a teenage girl is raised by a robot designed to repopulate the Earth, but their unique bond is threatened when an inexplicable stranger arrives with alarming news. Yeah, it was a decent.
Nice.
It was a decent flick. I remember. Wasn't like the best, but it was pretty good. Yeah, it looks like Netflix. Yeah, 2019
Okay.
Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sweet. Yeah. So it
Cool.
sounds very familiar, but they, you know, they're only in Sanctuary for like an episode. So
Yeah.
you get out into the world at large pretty quick. So yeah. Right on.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What else have
Yeah.
you been up to?
Well, okay. So like I definitely want to say, especially since I'm going to start talking a little bit about Star Trek. Tony Todd passed away this week on Wednesday. Tony Todd, you may recognize him from Candyman, as the eponymous Candyman, or well, I mean, he just was in a lot of Star Trek.
Okay.
He played Worf's brother, Kern. He played the elder Jake Sisko in a future Vision in an episode of Deep Space Nine. And yeah, it's kind of a bummer because I've really, really liked. I always he was just a great actor. So
Huh.
yeah,
That's a bummer, but
Yeah.
sounds like he's had a pretty good body of work. And I don't think I've ever seen Candyman, but I knew exactly what it was as soon as you said it because it's one of those pop culture-y type things.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's been in so many things. So like he voiced Venom in the new Spider-Man 2 film, or not film, but video game on the PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
Neat.
yeah, he's pretty great, but it's kind of yeah, we lost a good one.
Yeah.
But
was it unexpected or was it old age? Do we know?
let's see here. I am not
would
seeing it
guess
from this article.
Some kind of disease or something, because it doesn't seem like he was ancient old or anything.
Yeah, the article I found on Trek Movie does not say, but he did die in his home.
Okay.
So
All right. Well,
yeah,
that's a bummer.
yeah. But Star Trek, we've got new Star Trek episodes. We're now up to 943 episodes of Star Trek.
Oh,
Steven.
I forgot how much I loved this. Would you say 943? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
943. The 943rd episode is I think the 4th episode of season 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks, A Farewell to Farms. And I mean, the show's still really good. Got a lot of those member berries. Yeah, maybe they don't always connect to a much larger storyline and importance as Star Trek Prodigy did, but it is nice to have some new Lower Decks. And unfortunately, it being the final season, it's it's going out with a bang. Yeah, it's bittersweet, but it's also going out with a bang. The first 4 episodes have been just really, really good.
Man, so when my nephew was here, he asked to watch something.
Okay.
And I through our various forms of communication, found out that it was on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I on my Xbox, I went to it, and I was no longer signed in, meaning whoever I had borrowed that from, which I think is my sister-in-law, I no longer have access. So I can't even watch Lower Decks if I wanted to right now until I do some communication with some family members,
or pony up.
Pony up, which pay. Yeah, I should probably do that. Except, see, that's the rub, right? The only
Okay.
reason why would be to watch these episodes.
Yeah.
And
Okay, and then cancel it after the month, right? Like,
well, so I will probably wait until the season's done.
Yeah.
If I was to pay for it, which I'll probably end up borrowing a password, but if I was to end up paying for it, that would be the strategy. Be like, okay, I'll wait till the season's done.
Yeah.
I'll pay for a month, watch them all in a couple of days, and cancel the subscription.
Yeah.
So I'll just, if I'm gonna pony up the dough, I'm gonna have to wait till it's done.
I respect that.
See what happens.
Yeah, man. Sure.
Well, in other TV news, quickly, this isn't something that was on the list, but the Penguins finale episode's on tonight.
Oh,
Actually,
right
as we're speaking, it's airing,
and you're talking to me instead of
I have chosen to talk to you instead.
I feel so like, yeah. I feel that's incredible.
Colin Farrell
Yeah.
just disappears into that role. Like, yeah, what's great is they do the Game of Thrones things where when the episode's done, then it does like a short, like, 5 to 10 minute behind the scenes thing with like little cast interviews and stuff like that. And every time Colin Farrell pops up, I'm like, he's in this? Because he's unrecognizable as Cobb, as the Penguin. He just disappears into that role. And what a journey this season has been. Oh my gosh. That's a good suggested title. So yeah, I can't wait to see how it wraps up, because it's just the one season. Like it's like a mini series. They're not saying that the only thing that they've announced is that the end of this will lead into the Batman 2 somehow.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not a direct connection, but like the connection from the end of the Batman definitely was pushed this show in its direction, right? Like with the Falcone family, the head of the family being brought into the light, for those that remember the Batman and being killed by the Joker, spoilers, that threw that crime family into disarray, and that is the main thrust of the Penguin. Like him within that crime family figuring out, okay, how do I get mine now? I have a chance. I ran the Iceberg Lounge and below 44 or whatever it was, which was washed away when the Riddler, broke open the dams and everything was like all of that stuff that happened in the movie directly impacts the show 100%. Like it's there. That's the Gotham that we're dealing with, which is great. And as the show has gone on, there's been a bit of a timeline where now it started in like November, I think, because the notebooks that Bruce is writing in are dated, and there's the election, the mayoral election going on, so that's like November-ish, and like now it's starting to snow in the show, and we've already heard that Batman 2 is going to take place, or the Batman 2 is going to take place during the winter. So like this is a perfect chronology of like you watch 1, you watch the Penguin, and then you watch 2, and that's the story. It just flows.
Nice.
Which is going to be just wonderful. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be great. So
I mean, way to go, DC, to if you do make the Batman 2, to continue with with a course that's been set, and not just turn tail when things I don't know.
I mean,
for many reasons.
We've talked about it before, but like that's the difference between DC and Marvel. Marvel, all of their different properties, the way that they are set up can easily with big air quotes above it, but easily be like this all happens in the same world. Yeah. Right. There's a level of reality to its storytelling. It's always grounded in like New York or something. You know what I mean? Like there's a commonality between all the stories that when you have characters cross over or big events, you don't have to like bend backwards. You'd be like, well, this character is actually more powerful than that, but that wouldn't make sense with these other characters, so we have to scale it back. Like, they don't do those kinds of things. In DC, the characters are so nuts, like, which is great, you know. But when you have Superman, an alien, an indestructible alien, and Batman, a rich dude in a suit, go head to head, like, you got to make some concessions to make it feel real on the screen. Right. You know, like, you've got to build that up. You have to. There has to be some kind of. It's got to make sense somehow, and having this Batman be kind of separate and in its own little pocket world is perfect. Like, this, the Robert Pattinson Batman living in this kind of Gotham with these kind of characters makes sense. If you suddenly threw Superman in the middle, everything's broken now, because why wouldn't he just fly in and save the Gotham before all the dams broke and flooded Gotham? Right? He could just fly in and just take all the bombs and throw them into space in like a second. So, like, that doesn't make any sense.
you saw The Flash, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Al. Spoilers for The Flash.
Yeah, tell me. Let's go.
Imagine Clooney's Batman showing up in the Batman universe.
The one with the Bat credit card? That one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what a delight to see him as Bruce Wayne again.
You know, the multiverse within the MCU, what they've done with their multiverse saga has been largely a failure. Or at least, if not failure, then boring. DC has such a better opportunity to do like multiverse stuff because their characters are so wacky and weird. Even like the different versions of the same character, like, just look at like 60s era Batman versus 90s versus like, there's all of these.
I just can't seem to get rid of a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Yeah, exactly. Like, to do a multiverse with those kinds of characters, wow. Like, that's what I did like about The Flash. When you got the correct Batman, when you get Michael Keaton's Batman back as like a extended cameo, if you will, for the Flash movie, like, that was beautiful. And if they could do more stuff like that, that would be great. But they're not doing that. They got James Gunn.
That was the end, right?
That was
that entire.
They got it right at the end, and now it's gone forever. So I hope, just to wrap this little bit up, the Penguin finale tonight, I'll probably talk about it next week. And I like that little pocket universe they have going with those characters. They're doing a real good job doing Batman stuff, and we'll have to see where James Gunn does with everything else, because he's in charge of all the other stuff. There's been some screens of the new Superman, which is, hey, he's got the red underpants on again, so hey, that's a step in the right direction, I guess. I don't know. The Suicide Squad movie was pretty good, so we'll just we'll go with that.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, geez, we're half an hour in. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Gotta get moving. All right. Future or now? Who wants to go first? Me.
You
me
go
or
first.
You. Okay. Well, I'm calling this one. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
So this comes from a science article from Science Daily, which was published on October 17th, so about a month ago, which is fine. The title is, "Why Do We Love Carbs? The Origins Predate Agriculture and May Even Split, or may even are split from Neanderthals." Let me say that again.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, the origin predates agriculture and maybe even our split from Neanderthals. I don't know. Maybe I'll add it. Maybe I won't. So this is really interesting. A new study reveals how the duplication of the salivary amylase. I don't know how to say that word. What do you think?
Amylase is what I got you.
Amylase?
Yeah,
Okay,
amylase.
amylase gene may not only have helped shape human adaptation to starchy foods, but may have occurred as far back as more than 800,000 years ago.
Amylase.
It's amylase. Yeah.
Amylase. All right.
There
Thank
it is.
you, robot overlord.
Thank you, mother.
Thank you, mother. Yeah, if you've ever struggled to reduce your carb intake, ancient DNA might be to blame. So there you go. The end.
Yep. Well.
Yeah, it has long been known that humans carry multiple copies of a gene that allows us to begin breaking down complex carbohydrate starch in the mouth, providing the first step in metabolizing starchy foods like bread and pasta. However, it has been notoriously difficult for researchers to determine how and when the number of these genes expanded. So there was this new study led by the University at Buffalo and the Jackson Laboratory, or JAX, reveal how the duplication of this gene, known as the salivary amylase gene, AMY1, we're just going to call it AMY1 now, may not only have helped shape human. Oh, we already said that part. Let's see. Where do we go to? No, we're going to keep going. Amylase, or the AMY1, the researchers explain, is an enzyme that not only breaks down starch into glucose, but also gives bread its taste.
You mean bread makes you fat?
Bread makes you fat? Ben owes you another $5 if you know where that comes from. Ben, if you keep pulling these deep cuts and someone knows, you're going to be out a lot of money.
Yeah, I really am. I better stop.
You better stop. Yeah, so that threw me for a loop. That the way that because this enzyme breaks down the starch, like starting in your mouth, that helps to change or give bread its taste, or how we perceive its flavor, its taste, which is crazy to me that, like, if we suddenly took this gene out that produced this enzyme, what would bread then taste like? Mm-hmm. Would it just be like this, like, styrofoamy stuff in your mouth that then you won't be able to break down properly in your gut, and it does nothing for you? Maybe. I don't know. So let's see. The scientists used optical genome mapping and long-read sequencing, a methodological breakthrough crucial to mapping the AMY1 gene region in extraordinary detail. Traditional short-read sequencing methods struggle to accurately distinguish between gene copies in this region due to their near-identical sequence. However, long-read sequencing allowed them to overcome this challenge in present-day humans, providing a clearer picture of how AMY1 duplications evolved. So yeah, we have a lot of copies of this gene. So my guess, mutation-wise, it was beneficial for more of these genes to be there to express and have more of this enzyme become part of us. And as we are, 800,000 years ago, as these proto-human ape hybrids, whatever we were, wandering around, sticking stuff in our gobs, trying to figure out how to survive, suddenly eating certain kind of foods was a lot easier, and perhaps taste had something to do with that, right? Like, all of a sudden, hey, these roots that we were chewing on, now they actually taste good. Wow, what do we call them? Potatoes? That's my $5. That's an easy one. That's $1. That's an easy one. Okay, so they analyzed the genomes of 68 ancient humans, including a 45,000-year-old sample from Siberia. The research team found that pre-agricultural hunter-gatherers already had an average of 4 to 8 AMY1 copies per diploid cell, suggesting that humans were already walking around Eurasia with a wide variety of high AMY1 copy numbers well before they started domesticating plants and eating excess amounts of starch. Pre-agriculture, like that, that's a game changer.
And so so that just means that us cooking, like, we made a thing that just kind of tied into that gene.
Yeah, like
that, right?
This is a what came first, chicken or the egg kind of thing, right? Did we make bread and then go, wow, this bread is great? Or had we been eating bread-like things and then said, hey, can we take this stuff and make it into something easier to eat? Oh, look, we've created bread. Like, which way did it go? And now it seems like, well, we were running around eating stuff going, man, starches are awesome. Because really, a starch, you break down a starch, that's sugar.
Yeah.
Right? Like, humans go crazy over sugar. Sugar's an amazing thing. Sugar, if you're walking around the plains of Africa, where do you find sugar? Right? Like, that wasn't a thing in humans' diets. That was a special, hard-fought thing, and it's just instant energy. Like, you just all of a sudden, like, boom, there it is, without your body having to work for it. You just get it. Like, how efficient, how wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, it's humans love it so much, we can't get away from it. Try eating something without sugar in it now, right? Like, unless it was mooing a few minutes ago, it's hard.
I mean, 100% dark chocolate, I'm here for 100% of the time, but.
Yet you are a very unique individual. They should study your genes, sir.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe I got something wrong with my AMY1 gene.
They'd have to call the study on you Chasing Amy.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, boy. Let's see. The study also found that AMY1 gene duplications occurred in Neanderthals and Denisovans. That's not how you say that. Wow. I can't get my head around how to pronounce
Denisovans. Yeah. Denisovans from Denmark, probably.
Denisovans.
No, wait, no, sorry. That's not from Denmark. Neanderthals and Denisovans. I've never heard that before.
Anyways. Huh. What that suggests is that the AMY1 gene may have first duplicated more than 800,000 years ago, well before humans split from Neanderthals and much farther back than previously thought.
Okay, so a Denisovan is an extinct species of human of robust build, distributed from Siberia to Southeast Asia in the Upper Paleolithic.
All right, Upper Paleolithic, there you go.
Yeah, but they're of a separate evolutionary line from modern humans.
And we killed them. No.
I mean, they're not here.
No, humans weren't around. That's the whole thing, is we didn't even
exist.
If any
Denisovans listening to this want to let us know, sciencefaction@gmail.com.
There it is, sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Get it right.
Eventually.
So eventually we'll get there. All right, so to wrap this up, the initial duplication of AMY1 was like the first ripple in a pond, creating a genetic opportunity that later shaped our species. As humans spread across different environments, the flexibility in the number of AMY1 copies provided an advantage to adapting to new diets, particularly those rich in starch. If you want to read more, the article does go into talking about farming a little bit more. Some other little bits and pieces that I might have left out that were a little too crunchy. So check it out. The link will be in our show notes. So yeah, that's why we all love breads and pastas and noodles and potatoes and anything starchy. Yeah. It's what allowed our species to survive this long, and that's why we love it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I love you, bread.
I love you, Brad. Stop making me fat. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
What you got, man? Give us something.
from a file that's under "Today's the greatest day I've ever known," as the Smashing Pumpkins once said. So this is a little blog post from a blog called Ben Mini, which is mini essays about tech, business, and really whatever, by Ben, the VP. I guess Ben Thompson is his name, VP of Customer Success at Kibu. So he wrote this up, and it's called IMG_0416. All right, everybody, let's go into the Wayback Machine and remember that time between 2009 and 2012 when Apple iPhones and iPod Touches included a feature called Send to YouTube. That was a part of the operating system.
I remember that.
Wow. Yeah. So this was before the YouTube app was something you downloaded. iPhones had YouTube pre-installed, and they had this send your video in your Photos app directly to YouTube and just put it up.
This was before Google bought YouTube, right? Or was it around the same time?
It may have been around the same time, because it does seem that kind of Apple did remove its ties with YouTube around 2012. So yeah, I don't know. It does. This could be a milestone in the frenemy timeline between Apple and Google.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Right. But what happened through this moment is that between 2009 and 2012, as people uploaded things on YouTube, maybe they didn't change the name of their video. This was like the era of just sending or uploading a nonsense video of just somebody's life, not edited, not updated with any weird filters or anything, just like raw unedited video. And Apple used a IMG_ with a 4-digit number that was the sequence number of images on your phone in order to name it. And that image title, if you didn't change it when you uploaded it to YouTube, that's just what the image title was.
Okay.
So right now, there are millions of these videos on YouTube that are IMG_ followed by 4 digits.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you just search for that, like maybe even replace the 4 digits with maybe your favorite numbers, like maybe even your birthday, right? Just see what you get, right? And like what you will get are these videos that are not edited, not produced. They were never paraded for mass viewing. They were likely uploaded by accident, or or at the very least, not really understanding that complete strangers could see it. And then also what's interesting is that since YouTube automatically removes harmful or violent content, what remains exists in a unique, almost paradoxical state. This harmless yet forbidden liminal space of our memories.
Wow.
And it kind of becomes like an interesting, exceptionally authentic social feed. So like maybe you'll get like just these snippets of concerts or basketball games or kids recitals. That's
incredible.
Yeah. Right? Just all these events that somebody said like, hey, let's record this.
Yeah, like, oh wow, let's take a picture or let's record a little thing. And this was like, to put it into perspective, I think one of the reasons why this might have been so popular is because sending these things to other people's phones wasn't easy to do.
Right. Yeah. Text messaging didn't really support videos.
Yeah.
You
couldn't just send a video. You couldn't stream anything. You'd have to, like, I remember around this era, like if you wanted to send something to somebody, yeah, you'd put it on YouTube and send them a link, but that kind of came later. It was more like you would have to put it into an email and send it or something.
Right.
Like this was just the beginning of sharing things.
Yeah.
Wow, what a
And
cool
yeah,
like piece of a slice of technological life.
right. And in this, especially in this moment in time, when maybe you are concerned about the what we see on the internet being too glossy and not being human, maybe you need a little bit of this random connection to a stranger. Maybe this is something that the internet really needs.
Humanity, yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah,
Thank
yeah, right, right. And empathy, and and so I came across this from that. It just felt good, seeing these moments of people celebrating birthdays or informing their loved one that they're pregnant, or like all this
Wow.
stuff that's just like these beautiful uh or even idiotic moments. There's this one video that I that I came across of a young man snorting powdered sugar in a Dunkin' Donuts and dealing with the after effects of it. Had
Wow.
spoiler alert, it's unpleasant.
Yeah, no
you
kidding.
know, yeah, but like thoroughly human.
Yeah,
How amazing is that?
humanity.
Hmm.
I remember humanity.
Yeah. So, anyhow, that's what I wanted to bring to y'all today. The article has a couple of videos that they kind of show, that they just kind of link to and show off. But really, this is an invitation. Uh, Search YouTube for IMG underscore and then four random digits, and just see what comes up, and maybe smile a little bit.
Wow, I might have something on there somewhere. Do you,
Me too. I don't know.
do you do you have something on there somewhere?
I might. Well, I definitely have uploaded videos to YouTube, so that's that's a good. I'm yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to look right now. So maybe we should
Yeah.
go to a break.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We're gonna take ourselves a little break. When we come back, we're not doing a book club. We'll talk about what we should have done and what we will be doing next week. But we decided since Devin's not here, it's not fair. It's just not fair to him. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to Ray Bradbury. So instead,
That's definitely the truth. It isn't.
1000%. So instead, we're gonna do a little trailer roundup. There's been some movie trailers, some what's coming trailers, and so we're gonna talk about some of those things. Of course, links will be in the show notes if you want to read ahead a little bit. So we'll be right back.
Hey, nerd.
Yes? Are you talking to me? Why, I do like podcasts. Where can I go to listen to more of these?
Well, dummy, go to patreon.com/science faction podcast and listen to bonus episodes.
And we're back.
Heyo.
Hello.
And a big thank you to our patrons. That's Renee, Josh, Johnny, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. All right. Excellent. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate your Patreoning of us.
Patronage is the word you're looking for.
Yep.
That's correct.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. And we're still posting stuff on our Discord. If you want to be part of it, you can even join the free tier at patreon.com/science faction podcast.
Yeah, we are continually sharing things and stuff from our pre-show, our mid-show, our post-show. If we're talking about something, maybe there's pictures or memes or links. Sometimes we will just throw them in the Discord. So check it out. There's some fun stuff in there. Especially like oh yeah, you got yourself. We got a picture from Battlestar Galactica posted. What do we do now, Captain? Do the same thing we always do. Fight them till we can't.
Fight them till we can't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get on to not our book club, but next week.
Not today.
Tell us about next week for the book club that we're going to do with Devin.
Next week is the 1943 Ray Bradbury short story "The Crowd" from his book of short stories called "The October Country." We'll have a link to
Crunchy? Wait. Would you say
crunchy? Yes, crunch. It's the crunchiest October.
Oh man, if we start having Octobers that are not crunchy, that's when we start to worry.
Right? Yeah, because I mean, you've got all the man. I gotta say, I'm still having like the pumpkin spiced pumpkin seeds from Trader Joe's.
Oh,
I
don't think I've ever had those.
They're so good. You just toss them into a little bit of yogurt, like plain yogurt, and like that's like my breakfast every once in a while. It's been nice.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking I want to go get that now, but still haven't recorded a podcast.
Welcome to the Pumpkin Spice Podcast. All pumpkin spice all the time. Do you
Now,
have a crunchy October?
I'm not a very huge pumpkin spice guy, but I do gotta say that I love trail mix. So of a lot of different kinds. So yeah, my October was pretty crunchy with trail mix.
Are you a raisin guy? Do you like raisins?
I like craisins a lot. 100% on craisins. Raisins, it has to be in the right thing.
See, I detest raisins. They're just little sticky blobs of hate.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever enjoyed a raisin. Craisins, yes, different texture, different flavor, different everything, different mouthfeel, different. A raisin? Nah, man, no thank you for raisins.
Okay, and that's been like your entire life, or just like an adult thing?
No, I keep trying. Every now and then I'll be like, maybe my taste buds have changed. Maybe they're not as bad as I remember, and I'll like chew on one, and I just They don't. I don't have like sometimes you put something in your mouth and your body wants to vomit immediately. It's not like that. It's just like, oh, this is gross. Now I have to deal with this. Ugh.
No, I gotta say, man, shout out to my mom for introducing me to ants on a log, because like there is literally nothing better than ants on a log. It was just ants on a logs being you take some celery, you put some peanut butter in the little divot there, and place a few raisins on top. Nothing better.
See, okay, here's my problem with celery.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, yeah. Let it out, man.
Celery is crunchy water, and nobody needs that.
Crunchy water, crunchy October, trail mix. We're back.
Oh. If you give me ants on a log minus the ants and the log, I will eat it all day with a spoon. I love me some peanut butter. I'll eat peanut butter off of a spoon, a finger, the counter sometimes. Doesn't matter. One of my favorite, welcome to the snack podcast. One of my favorite things to do, just take a flour tortilla. Got to be flour. Get some peanut butter, spread it right on there. Roll it up. Perfect snack.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
If you're feeling saucy, yes, you sprinkle some chocolate chips on there, hit it in the microwave for like 5 seconds. Oh, forget about it. That's like easy, like 600 calories in like 5 seconds. So efficient. That's what we call efficient eating in this house.
Yeah, for sure. Man. Oh. But no, October Country is the name of the book.
Oh, yes, of course.
By Ray Bradbury of short stories, of which The Crowd is one of them. And we will be discussing it next week as Devin is back. But we've got a link to a YouTube video reading of it from Works of Wonder, which is a pretty sweet YouTube channel.
Oh, nice.
I know I've been pretty YouTube pro today on this show.
To me, YouTube has replaced channel surfing. Like if I just I want to watch something but I don't know what, boom, YouTube. There will be something that I want to watch somewhere on there.
I'm gonna have to find this, but or maybe I'll find it immediately. But like I found a it's essentially like YouTube channels where it's like you just have like maybe 12 or 14 channels that are like playlists of YouTube, but like you can't choose what you're watching in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm curious. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find that because
If they are able to throw in like old school commercials like in between, that would be a lot of fun. Like toy commercials from the 80s and 90s.
yeah,
That would be
maybe,
fun stuff.
but yeah, it was. I'm not finding it. I'll find it sometime because I know I've got it in like all my links here, but it's just not coming
You know
up.
what? When you find it, post it on Discord and we'll all check it out.
Yeah.
All
for
right.
sure.
So we're going to do ourselves a little trailer roundup, if you will. Recently, the trailers for both, more of a full trailer. There have been teasers, but more full trailers for both Captain America, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts, little asterisk at the end, have come out. I'm checking now when the date was that these released, and about a day ago. Hey, number 1 on trending for the Captain America Brave New World trailer. So this is great because I don't know if this is great. So here's the thing. Do you remember Avengers Endgame?
Yeah, I
Of course,
remember Avengers Endgame.
we all watched it. At the end of that, old man Cap, spoilers, old man Steve Rogers gives his shield to the
Sam
Falcon.
Wilson. Yeah.
Sam Wilson, right? The Falcon. And says like, hey, someone's got to take it. Might as well be you, but in like a better way.
Yeah.
And they took that storyline and spun it into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right.
The second Marvel TV show, which was okay.
It was okay. It was fine.
But it introduced a bunch of kind of minor characters, alluding that they would become something more later, including Valerie something, D'Allegra Fontaine something.
Oh yeah, Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yes, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So she was in that a little bit. We've got the official, the government sanctioned Captain America. Was
John Walker.
John Walker was introduced, which the comic book people were like, oh yeah, he's U.S. agent. He's kind of a dark, failed Captain America. Like, okay, we know where this storyline's going. We also got the African American Captain America.
Right.
Now I'm blanking on what his name is.
Is that who we see at the beginning of the Captain America Brave New World trailer?
Yes, it is.
Oh, so he's in prison now.
He is in prison, and if you combine this trailer with something, one of the previous teasers, it looks like he, under some sort of mind control or something, attempts to assassinate Harrison Ford's Ross.
Yeah, President Ross.
President Ross, yeah. So they got him in there, and like his whole story of being one of the first people tested on with the super soldier serum. And guess what? He has a grandson who was also introduced in that show. And I haven't seen the official release, but I saw something today saying that Marvel is finally saying a Young Avengers is coming, which is what they've been building up in the background for like 10 years now, it seems. Probably not that long, but he is in the Young Avengers. So like, that show introduced a lot of little bits and pieces to be used later. And that later kind of never really came because shows weren't very popular. Movies didn't do too well. And when we get to the Thunderbolts, there's a little bit more of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other thing with Brave New World that we get is, let me see, scrobbling. I'm going through trying to find the scene of it. There's one scene of a dude talking on a phone, and you only see him from the back. And he is the leader. The leader is a Hulk villain.
Mm.
And he was teased at. He was teased in The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Same actor, like same everything. They're just, because
Oh.
that movie is MCU canon.
Yeah.
And that's where we introduced General Ross, that actor who has since passed away.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name, who Harrison Ford is replacing in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. He was. Oh well, he was in Lost in Space. He
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Along with Joey.
along with Joey.
Oh, why can't I remember names of actors?
Man.
Anyways, so like this movie has some interesting things going for it. You've got the Falcon, who is not the Falcon anymore. He is Captain America. He has passed down the Falcon mantle to another character from the Falcon and Winter Soldier, who was in like the first episode, and he gives like his suit to, like, hey, can you fix this or something? That character is like the new Falcon. It's confusing.
Right.
Not a lot of people care.
Which you see a bit more of in, well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I found it. The leader is at around the minute 30 mark.
Okay.
Maybe minute 31.
Is that with the hat?
The hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So his whole thing is like, he has this, he's a Hulk villain because weak body, smart mind, right? Hulk, weak mind, big body. It's one of those like old comic booky things. The other thing that's in this movie, hey, remember
There's a hand.
There's a big hand coming out of the ocean. Remember that?
Thank heavens that we got that. Yeah, no, so like I'm digging this. I'll just say that. I'm digging this because it's finally the answer to like the last several years we've had of MCU that have begged the question of, okay, well, now what? This is it.
Yeah. This might be it. However, there's also some pretty heavy buzz that it is not testing well. Which, who knows? And what I found was interesting also is in this trailer that Anthony Mackie, the Captain America, his name is before Harrison Ford's.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of a big deal. And of course, the other thing that we haven't talked about is Red Hulk, which is what General Ross in the comics did the same thing, I believe. He was after the Hulk because he wanted the serum, because then super soldiers, all that nonsense. It looks like perhaps something happens and now we get Red Hulk. Which again, we're not getting any solo Hulk movies because Universal holds some rights that say you can't have a solo Hulk movie.
Oh, geez. Is that why?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That's why whenever we see the Hulk, he's in someone else's movie now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a whole kerfuffle. So anyways, Captain America, Brave New World. I mean, will I see it in the theater? I don't know if I will or not. I think I would like to, but with kids and everything, who knows? Maybe I'll have to wait till it's on Disney Plus before I get to check it out. Eternals, that's the movie I was trying to think of. Eternals.
Yeah,
that's the one with the big hand, and it looks like it's been discovered. Something has been discovered with that hand, and now it's being fought over. Like that seems to be part of what this movie's about as well.
Okay.
Looks like February 14th, 2025 is when this thing is hitting theaters.
Oh, okay, so right in time for Valentine's. This is such a Valentine's Day movie. It's got the Red Hulk, yeah.
He's the Love Hulk is what they call him. Love Hulk.
The Cupid Hulk.
Cupid Hulk. All right, so let's move right along to Thunderbolts **. Which is interesting because Thaddeus Ross, who, General Ross and now President Ross, his nickname is Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So these people are being called the Thunderbolts asterisk. Like they've said like that asterisk is there for a reason, and I'm guessing we won't find out what it means until like the end credits. Like it'll finally say like what the asterisk is, and it'll be some like clever thing, hopefully. But so going through this, we've got a lot of characters in this one that are not necessarily side characters, minor characters. This is a group of minor characters that are being shoved together, Avengers style, which including Avengers Tower, which by the way, now we know who bought it finally.
Yeah.
That was first teased in Spider-Man
Homecoming.
Yeah,
yeah, because they were moving out of the tower, and that's why. I mean, they talked about it in No Way Home too, because that's why Jon Favreau had his apartment there.
Oh, that's right, with some of the stuff in it and all that.
Yeah.
So within this trailer, this came from a D23 Brazil special look. Like, okay, May 2nd, 2025. So February, April, May. So 2 months later, you get to see this movie after you hear about and don't go and watch Brave New World. then this movie comes out. I'm not optimistic about these movies. The trailers look good, but I'm not optimistic. I'm more excited about this one though because it looks fun at least.
No, I mean,
not
okay, I don't know. I think it's not for me, but I do appreciate, because I don't think I had associated Thunderbolts with the Winter Soldier before with Bucky, and so like to see him in this and to go from like, okay, Falcon and the Winter Soldier into now we have two different films coming out right near each other that are like, they seem to be two sides of the same coin, right? In some ways.
Yeah, I think that's the point, is that in New World Order you have the U.S. government and the official Captain America and like the big things happening, and then the flip side is this movie, which is like the underground. That asterisk might be Dark Avengers, because that's like a whole thing from the comics. It's a long story that I'm not going to get into, that I don't even know the full story of. But at some point it was like, oh yeah, we need Avengers that are not really the Avengers. They need to do the secret ops and stuff like that. And that's kind of who these people are, is my guess.
Yeah.
So we get Yelena from the Black Widow movie, Black Widow's sister. We get they have all their names here in the trailer.
Well, yeah, she was in. Wasn't she also in Hawkeye?
Yep, she showed up in Hawkeye. She was going to kill him and then didn't. But she was great in that show. She's such a that character, the actress Florence Pugh, and that character are just, anytime they're on screen they steal the show, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
She's she is the new Black Widow. So we get her, we get Bucky, we get Ghost. Hey, remember Ghost?
Yeah, from the second Ant-Man film.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, she has some kind of quantum phasing power thing. We get Red Guardian, who was a Russian super soldier, kind of. Again, from the Black Widow movie. Let's see, there's Bucky. We talked about him already. Who else is there? Oh, and then we get the U.S. agent, the not Captain America.
Yeah.
Which he has been, of course, modified by some sort of super. And they have a joke in this trailer about like, which flavor of super soldier serum did you get?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I am on board with these. The reason why is because it's like, okay, please pay something off.
Yeah,
Marvel, please.
Yeah, a lot of these characters were like I said, they were brought in as kind of bits and pieces, toys to be played with later, and then later just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. Do we even know who these characters? Like when this not Captain America shows up, how many people in the theater are gonna go, I recognize him, or I know where he's from, and don't need like a full recap of who this person is? He was in a Disney Plus show for several episodes, but not all of them. And
Mhm.
that's it. We haven't seen or heard from him. Maybe he's been mentioned in other things. I kind of doubt it, but that's it. I don't know. Also Taskmaster is in this.
Right. Yeah.
Another from the Black Widow movie, which was someone who their whole thing is they can copy other people's powers just by seeing how they, not their powers, but their fighting style just by watching them.
Mhm.
And then there's Bob. So
Yeah, and there's Bob. Yeah.
And then there's Bob. Who's Bob? Bob is the Sentry. The Sentry is essentially Marvel's Superman. Beyond that, I really don't know much about the character. But the power set is supposed to be similar. So I'm assuming the Sentry is going to be this is pure hypothetical. This is not from any spoilers. This is just my guess. He's going to be the covert U.S. government's like newest version of the super soldier serum, and it needs to be trained. And so they send in the Thunderbolts after various shenanigans at the first third of the movie. They're going to be collected together, brought to Avengers Tower, which is going to be rebranded something else. And they're going to say, okay, here's this guy who has all the power, and we need you people who have been superhero adjacent your entire lives to train him and get ready for the next big thing that's coming that is going to be directly connected somehow to Captain America Brave New World. Like I have a feeling that these two movies there's going to be events that are happening at the same time. Like they're going to be able to be overlaid with each other. And that's why there's no direct crossover, because they're both busy doing different things at the same time. That's my guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares?
So yeah, like, well, I think that the most interesting part about it all is the fact that these two trailers are paired together, right? I did not consider that these two were connected.
Oh, okay.
Like to this degree until now, And so, yeah, like, give me some more of that information back when I was paying attention to the MCU.
Yeah.
like bring that back, and like, okay, cool. Thank you for giving us some reason to have watched what we watched.
Yeah, I think pandemic really screwed up their plans. I think these movies should have been out like 2 years ago. That's everything got pushed, and when things get pushed, people forget, and when mediocre things get pushed, people really forget and start to just not care anymore. I mean, I'm one of the at this point rare people that I think I've watched everything, except for that like, was it Something by Midnight or
I saw that one. Yeah, that was good.
You said it's good, and I've have it on my to-do list somewhere, but I'm pretty sure I've watched everything else. And it's a lot.
Yeah, I haven't seen Echo yet, which, I mean, we'll get there in a couple trailers.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man. All right, so like let's hop out of Marvel for a moment.
Yeah, let's leave that alone.
There was a new trailer for Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. Hey, do you like the Goonies?
Heck yeah, I like the Goonies.
Hey, do you like Star Wars?
Yeah, I like Star Wars, and I've got a kid that's 11 years old, and it seems like it's pointed to the 11-year-old in all of us.
Yeah, so Skeleton Crew, again, it's a Star Wars show. It's kids though. I think that's the first time we've really done this. There's not a whole lot of kids in Star Wars. I think the last one was Child Leia, and everyone hated that.
We did have the Ewok Adventures.
We did have the Ewok Adventures.
We did. I remember.
I bet you do.
I can never forget.
Yeah, never forget. What this looks like, this is kids on an adventure, a la Steven Spielberg in the late 80s. Like that's what this looks like. It's these 3 human-looking kids, 1 alien-looking one. They find a ship. Somehow it goes off into space. They're out of their element. They're going on adventures. And then Jude Law shows up. The rumor is that he's Jedi, but he doesn't look Jedi-ish in this trailer. I don't even know what era this is supposed to take place in.
Right.
And there's nothing in the trailer to really point to that specifically. We don't see stormtroopers. And that's kind of the only thing I would like that would really define what era we're in, I think. But there are no signs of the Empire, put it that way. I see some X-wings. All right, I'm watching the trailer as I'm talking. I saw some X-wings fly by. So X-wings would put this anywhere from original trilogy through to the sequel trilogy. You could throw X-wings all in any of those, and it would make sense. So this is not prequel era stuff, essentially.
Yeah, but what's wild is that it's the trailer has Major Tom coming home in it, but the if you have like the captions on, you'll notice that it's not sung in English; it's sung in Huttese.
Oh, they did a cover.
Yeah,
cover. Okay.
Which is just so perfect.
So as
cool.
That's really awesome. It really sets the tone and the era, like, because this is emulating like 80s filmmaking.
Right.
And this is a show. Looks like December 3rd, 2-episode series premiere December 3rd, which, man, that's close to my birthday. That's going to be on a Wednesday. No, that's a Tuesday. Wow, Tuesday. Okay. Premiering on a Tuesday.
John Watts is one of the writers.
Yes.
Believe it or not. And he's one of the directors listed too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm hopeful that this is going to be fun. Like, I don't care if this connects to any other Star Wars. Let it be on its own. That's fine.
Right.
As I was watching, this is the first time I noticed this because I haven't watched any like recaps or breakdowns of this thing. There's a robot that goes through, kind of looks like Tudyk's robot from Rogue One. What's that thing? K2SO. Kind of looks K2SO-ish. And as I'm watching it, at minute 126 of this trailer, one of his eye sockets, there's a little alien sticking its head out of one of his eye sockets. There's a tiny alien driving this thing, I think. That's amazing.
Wow.
That is fantastic. A little 4-eyed alien thing peeking. It looks really like Men in Blackish. That's fun. This looks
cool.
like a hoot. This is something else that I would, with my kids kind of knowing what Star Wars is about by not really watching any of the Star Wars movies, they might get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
This might be their in, right? Every generation
Right.
has their in. This might be theirs. I don't know.
Yeah. And so, I mean, John Watts came from, he directed the 3 Spider-Man films, Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home.
Yes.
And so, like, here he is with his take on Star Wars, and I'm here for
Star Wars stuff. Yeah,
so
I don't
here for it.
I don't see any Mandalorians. I don't see any lightsabers. I see a lot of fun, some recognizable aliens, right? We got Jawas. Let's see what other. I think that's the only one I really recognize. Like right off there's one point where they look like they're at some kind of alien spaceport, and there's aliens all over the place. But I want to say Jawas were the only ones that I really recognized. They did mention that the ship is an Old Republic ship or something of that ilk.
Yeah. They had Old Republic credits that they were trying to pay for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. See, there's a Wolfman looking guy. I'm trying to pause it on the background. Yeah, there's the Jawas. Just a bunch of nonsense aliens. That's cool. Why not? Just have nonsense. I'm sure there'll be Twi'leks somewhere. I'd love to do Twi'leks because they're easy. You just do head tails.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, this also has big Star Trek Prodigy vibes which like
kids finding a ship, going on
Mhm.
adventures.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
like
do
I'm
it.
down.
This looks fun.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Let's move on
but
to
that's
our
not
last
all,
bit.
is it?
No, there's one more.
One more.
So let's see. Marvel Studios put out like a 2-minute trailer that is about stuff that's coming to Disney Plus.
Mhm.
And there's a bunch of it. We've got Daredevil Born Again,
Mhm.
which the other Daredevil show, the Netflix show, is now on Disney Plus as part of the MCU.
Hmm.
So I think it's all considered canon now.
Yeah, I mean,
not
after No Way Home.
Well, yeah, we get Matt Murdock in No Way Home, which, by the
Yeah.
way, No Way Home still not on Disney Plus because of Sony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no way to watch that unless you purchase it. It's not streaming anywhere as far as I know. So there's that. So we get Daredevil, we get Kingpin, we get Punisher, John Barenthal's Punisher, the best Punisher.
I mean, it's a good Punisher, but I'm Dolph Lundgren's Punisher.
I mean, everyone's got their own. Hey, if this is the
Right.
multiverse saga, where is he? Let's go.
yeah, for sure.
He should at least be in the what's it called?
Like the opening crawl when they show the Marvel logo.
No. That'd be hilarious, though. Well, I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well do Hasselhoff's Nick Fury. I mean, come on.
Dude, yeah, for sure.
No, I was talking about the void, right? The place at the end of all time and space where all the stuff goes.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Which there was a Punisher villain, the one with the striped shirt. He's a Punisher villain that was in the other Punisher film that came out, not the Ray Stevenson one, the one before that. They've done a lot of Punishers. Let's keep going. John Barenthal's Punisher, that's cool. We get the Kingpin back, which and he got a little flag on his lapel. I'm guessing he's going to be running for mayor of New York. That's a thing that he does in the comics. He becomes a politician and isn't just a mob dude. That's fine. And the last time we saw Daredevil was yellow costume in She-Hulk, so it'd be interesting to see how all that's wrapped together. Also, that's the last time we saw Hulk and his son. It's the last second. I don't know how canon that stuff is, but maybe it is.
She-Hulk was so good.
I really like She-Hulk as well. I thought it was clever.
Yeah.
And then we go to an animated thing. We get Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which looks like another Spider-Man origin story kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with retelling Spider-Man.
Yeah, for sure. This looks so good. I'm excited.
I mean, what are the chances that this is going to be wrapped up in across the Spider-Verse somehow? I think there's probably a pretty good chance.
Yeah, well, it turns out that according to Wikipedia, Charlie Cox plays Matt Murdock in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah,
sign me up. After that, we go to Ironheart, whose character was introduced in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. Which again, thank you for making something that tells me that paying attention actually pays off.
Yeah. The thing with Ironheart, so that's going to be, I think it was first announced as a movie, and then it was announced as a TV show, and then it was pushed back. I'm glad they're actually doing something with it now. But the comic version of all this is somewhat similar. What's the character's name? Is it Riri Williams? I don't remember the name, but she's super smart. In the comics, she finds like pieces of Iron Man suits and like cobbles them together to create her own thing. And then there's a Tony Stark AI, because I think at the time he's dead in the comics or something. Well, anyways, a digital or holographic version of Tony Stark like tutors her on like how to build their suits and like how to use it and stuff. And when Wakanda Forever was coming out and this character was first being introduced, it was like, there's no way they're going to get Robert Downey Jr. to come back and be a hologram for this show.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows now? Even if it's just like voice work, like, you know, the voice in the suit, if they can get Downey to do that for this show, that would be amazing. That would be so amazing. But yeah, we don't know much. I don't know much about the plot or anything. They do show shots of her like in a suit and building stuff and, you know, all this Iron Man type tech. Cool. Don't know how involved it's going to be with like Wakanda. But there could be a bunch of that in there as well. I don't know.
I'm down. Yeah.
Sign me up for that one. I want to know more. What If Season 3? I never watched What If Season 2. That's another one I'm missing that I haven't watched.
Yeah,
What If
started
Season
it.
2?
I saw like the first episode or two and then fizzled. So I'd like to get back into that.
And then that goes to Marvel Zombies, which is kind of going to be that seems like a spin-off from What If, and that's kind of what it was in the comics too. So it looks like that's getting its own show, which sure, if they're still having the actors come back and reprise their roles, why not? So we got some shots of that.
Eyes of Wakanda, a Marvel animated show. Also is
Did I miss that in there?
You must have, because it's in there.
What If, Marvel Zombies? I'm like scrolling through it.
It's it's right after Wonder Man.
Oh, okay, I hadn't gotten to Wonder Man yet. That's the next thing. Yeah, okay, Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. What's up with Wonder Man?
You know,
looks zany.
He's a beloved comic character, but beyond that, I have no idea what his deal is. But we get the return of Iron Man 3 villain.
Yeah.
And what was his name? Trevor?
Trevor. not the Mandarin.
Not the Mandarin.
Not the Mandarin.
Ben something. Is it
Ben Kingsley?
Kingsley, yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was also, if you remember, in that 10 Rings movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so we get
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah, and was the Legend of the Ten Rings or just
the
10 Rings?
Another film that I would expect for some follow-up, because like it just seemed like the beginning of a trilogy of films, you know?
Yeah, not only that, but it had a post-credit scene that had big players in it, and they were saying like, "Hey, these 10 Rings are not from this universe."
Right.
Oh, spooky. And then that was it. So yeah, that's a whole nother aspect that we haven't touched upon yet. So Wonder Man, and then we have Eyes of Wakanda, another animated deal. This looks like, I don't even know what this looks like. It looks is this like the history of Wakanda?
I don't know. Yeah, it kind of seems like it might be like an anthology show, like Star Wars Visions, perhaps.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it would be like an animated version of what's the word? Not fairy tales. What is that called? Where you have stories of your past that are fantastical.
Like mythology.
Yeah, kind of like a mythology or no, there's another word. Anyways, it's like that. Renee, let us know what word you're shouting at us right now that we can't think of. By we, I mean me. Eyes of Wakanda, sure. Then they got Deadpool and Wolverine coming to Disney Plus at some point. That's great. I'll watch that 5 or 6 more times. And then let's see, they just show a kind of a smattering of other clips at the end of this, and it goes by real quick. June 24th for Ironheart. It goes all the way through to October, December. It's December. Like the whole year stuff that's coming. There's some good stuff in there. for they're saying, hey, you've subscribed to our service. You are actively giving us money every month. Here's what you're going to get for that.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
kind of cool. Like it's not just, all right, what's going to show up this month? No, they're saying like, look, here's like 10 things that are coming. Maybe some of them are for you, maybe some of them aren't, but it's a wide spread. Like
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. Good job on that, Marvel. And let's get back to I don't think we're going to see kind of the resurgence of Marvel popularity until we finally get to the X-Men.
Mhm.
I think once we get to the mutant saga, which I think is, I don't know if that's official or if that's fan made, but after the multiverse saga, I think we're getting the mutant saga, which I'm ready for it. Give us brand new, tie it in where you can. Let's go. There is so much that you can do with mutants. I mean, look at Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if with the proper story in the right hands, wow. And like the joke in the movie that they're gonna make Hugh do this until he's 90, like that's not a joke, I don't think. Like people want to see him as Wolverine in any capacity. And I'm there for if he's willing to do it, I'm there for it. If he wants to quit, I would shake his hand and say, thank you for what you've given us. Please go rest. Give your abs a rest, please, sir. Relax. Because wow. I think there was something that came out recently that they said like, yeah, we're gonna try and do Deadpool and Wolverine as much as possible in the future. I think that movie made so much money from those two characters that they're going to be all over the place, which could be good, could be bad. This doing it once was amazing and outstanding. You do it a second time, I don't know. That some of that magic may be lost. There was something really special about Deadpool and Wolverine and the way that it fit, where it fits and how it fits, and the purpose of the movie and the meta purpose of the movie. Like all those things together just came together so beautifully that you can't do that a second time. You just can't. You can attempt to, or you can try to do something new. And with that comes risk. So who knows? What I kind of hope they don't do, which they've done before in like animated stuff, is say like, hey, here's Xavier's school with all these young mutants, also a really old Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like, let's not do that again. Like, that seems so appealing. Like, oh, let's get Hugh Jackman. Let's get him in there as like an old grizzly teacher, but with young all the other characters. It seems like it's a good idea, but it's really not. I've never agreed with that idea. It just, if he is brought in from a different universe to do that, maybe that's something else.
Yeah, it'd have to be done well,
What?
It would have to be done well.
Yeah. It depends on the tone. Like, we don't know what tone they're going to go for with the mutants either. So far, like with Deadpool, like it's kind of comedy, but it's got like a really big heart, and that's cool. But like, if they're going to do X-Men right, and this episode is very long.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But Devin's not here to rein me in. If you're going to do X-Men right, you go back to the source and you get Xavier and you get his school and you get hatred of mutants and you get Magneto fighting, you get what X-Men 97 does and the original X-Men animated did. Like, you get that dynamic together. That's the way to do it. That's how it works. Any other way, it just gets weird. Like, that has to be the core of it. And the last time that was kind of redone that I was around for was the Ultimate series, Ultimate X-Men, which came after Ultimate Spider-Man. Then there was the Ultimates, which was Avengers. And they went on and they did Ultimate everything else. But those three were like the big ones. And they were all 17, 18, they're at Xavier's school, and even Wolverine was there, and it wasn't revealed until later that he was, much older. And there was other stuff happening with that specific character as well. But yeah, anyways, I want to see that so bad done well.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Hmm.
All right, man.
All right. That sounds like it's a
talking.
podcast.
I think that's a podcast. I think we're done now. I talked too much.
Devin, any last words?
Like always.
Yeah.
No.
Steven, how about you?
No, please, no.
All right. 2 bacteria walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, but we don't serve bacteria here." To which the bacteria reply with, "But we work here. We're staff."
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.